What's going on, YouTube? Thanks for tuning into the channel. It's your boy Devin Coates. This is day 9, chapter 9, 48 days with the 48 laws. You can pick up a copy of the book in the link in the description below. It is an affiliate link. I would appreciate it if you get any value from the videos I'm putting up, if you would buy from my link. So, chapter 9, it is win through your actions, never through argument, judgment. Any momentary triumph you think you have gained through argument is really a Pyrrhic victory. The resentment and ill will you stir up is stronger and lasts longer than any momentary change of opinion. It is much more powerful to get others to agree with you through your actions without saying a word. Demonstrate, do not explicate. So this is one of those laws that I look at. I fucking break it constantly. But let me jump right in. So the first story is one of my favorite stories, most memorable stories that I remember whenever I think about this book, and that is so there's a consul, basically there's a warlord and the engineer. The warlord is laying siege to a castle and is requesting a battering ram. There's a small one and there's a large one, just to shorten the story. He is asking for the larger one, but the engineer is talking to the guy soldiers who he has sent to pick up the ram, and he's like, nah, you're the warlord guy. What he wants is the smaller one, because actually you'll be able to move the smaller one more quickly, and it's gonna actually generate more force than the larger one. So you want the small one. They're like, nah, he said the larger one. He goes, no, I'm the engineer, I'm the expert, I know you wants the small one. They're like, our master is not a guy that you want to argue with. Just give us the bigger one. That's the one he wants. We would need to come back with the bigger one. So the engineer agrees, and then later he starts thinking it over. He's like, dude, why would I give him one that's not going to work? I'm just going to give him the smaller one. It's going to work. He's going to use it. He's going to be like, yeah, it's way better. Sends it over. Warlord's fucking furious. He's like, why the fuck did I get the small one? Didn't I tell you guys to get the larger one? What happened? They're like, bro, this dude kept arguing with us. We kept telling him we want the larger one. Finally agreed, and then I don't know, this is the one we got. And he goes, all right, fuck the battle. Let's just go over there and let's talk to this guy. He goes, so real quick, why did I not get the larger one? The engineer argues again. He's like, because of this and this point, and moves faster, and that one's better. I'm the expert. You should leave it to the experts. And basically the warlord's, all right, you done? You done or you finished, little Birdman? You finished or you done? And then he was done, and then basically he ordered his men to flog and flog him to death and put like branding irons on him till he died. So he died because he just argued too much. There was another story and that was actual transgression. Then the observation was that of Michelangelo and Sorrentini. He was the mayor of someplace in Italy, where basically they bought this big piece of marble, had an artist to try to make something beautiful. Basically the artist just put a fucking hole where the guy's leg would be and pretty much rendered the marble useless. Da Vinci, none of the greats could do anything. Then Michelangelo saw it and he's like, yo, I actually think I could do something. He thought of the statue of David, and if you think about it, he has this weird bend to his leg carrying the sling, and that's actually because there was a mistake in the marble before he got it. And Sorrentini completely thought this is impossible, whatever. Michelangelo didn't argue. He just fucking fixed the sculpture. He makes the whole sculpture, and then at one point, Sorrentini comes. He goes, "Oh yeah, this looks great, but the nose looks rather big." And then Michelangelo looks at him. He goes, "All right, come with me." Secretly knowing that he was standing in a spot directly under where he didn't have a great view of the nose, and that's why it looked bigger. He brings him up to a different spot. As he's bringing him up, he's gathering marble dust in his hands, and then he brings him up, and then at that point he asks him to look again, and then he acts like he's chiseling. He drips a little bit of dust, then has the guy stand back. He goes, all right, now look now. Does that look better? And the guy goes, whoa, it looks great. He actually didn't change it up at all because he knew it looked good already, but basically what he did was he didn't argue. He just won through action. He just did it, and then he showed him. And he gives another in the in the Keys to Power, another example where this guy that was like building all these crazy architectural buildings. Did something like that where he built a building for the mayor, and the mayor was like so nervous about the new architecture. He's like, oh shit. And this isn't Michelangelo, this is another artist. He builds like a building, and basically the mayor's like, oh, I'm so scared that the second floor is gonna fall, and I'm not sure about the structure. Guy doesn't argue with him at all. He goes, I need some beams to reinforce. He gets beams, has them put in, and actually, funny part about it was like about a decade later, there's workers that are working in the building, and then they scaffold, and they're at the top, and they see that this guy put in the beams, but the beams were about an inch from the ceiling, so they actually weren't supporting anything. It was just a facade, just to appease that guy. But then he was proved correct by the workers because he never really put them in. He just put them in to appease that guy. He won. He knew he won. The workers saw it, so then the public opinion knew he won. And basically the whole point is that, when you argue with somebody, they're not listening to you. If you're getting into an argument, they have their own fucking mindset, and you're basically making them feel insecure of their position and their opinions and what they know and their intelligence level. And it's not a good spot to be in. You want to win through arguments. And I think there was a quote in there that was like, the truth is rarely heard, it's often seen. And that's just really the truth. You need to prove by actions that this is the truth, and you need to not argue and feel like you need to explicate everything. And that's a problem that I run into all the time. And actually, just thinking about the dinner I just had, I sat there explaining all this stuff, and really there's nothing to explain. Somebody has one idea, you have another idea, and this wasn't any one that's going to lead to any catastrophic situation or result, but like, it's one of those things that keeps coming back to me that, especially for me, who feels like verbally and through conversation and verbal communication, like, I can really get my point across and I can explain myself sometimes. I sometimes talk in circles, and a lot of times I can piss people off because I won't drop from a topic. Like, I'll keep arguing it. When really, if I really know I'm right, just hold it in. I don't need to get that fucking victory. Just win by actions, and then later nobody can say shit because it's not like you pissed anybody off. You just knew it was the truth, and then when the time came for it to really play out in real life, everybody saw what it was. They saw what it is. So that's really what this one's about. The only reversal to this was that the only time to really argue is when you're trying to argue yourself out of trouble. So it's not like you're trying to argue to win. You're trying to kind of like buy time or use it in a deceptive way. And that's the only real time. You're not really trying to argue to get your point across, because that is the whole point of this chapter, is that if you're trying to get your point across and it's not being heard, you need to sit back and let the action speak for itself. And that's really the only way to do it. So that's it for this video. Thanks for tuning into the channel. This is day number 9. 48 days with the 48 laws. You can pick up your copy. There's a link in the description below that you can pick this up. It is an affiliate link. I would appreciate if you're getting any value from this, and the only way you're going to get the full value is if you're reading along. Read the chapter, watch the video. But until next time, it's your boy Devin Coates. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.